If you like my dad's videos, please subscribe to QA Insights channel.
Recently, GigaOm Radar for Cloud Performance Testing Tool report got released. So this report released by Micro Focus. So I got it in an email. So in this video, we're going to deep dive into this report so that you don't need to, and you can take some key takeaways from the analysis. Before we get started, I would like to stress my analysis is based on the experience I have and my thought process, and this is not a comparison between various tools. So this is the summary. So this report has 30 pages. Last few pages talks about the various tools, and first 20 pages or so talks about various evaluation, which we are going to see it in a moment. So if you just scroll down, initially you will get to know about the summary, so why the report is, and it also talks about the previous year's radar report. As you see here, 2021 radar report, you can just check it out. And all the solutions as mentioned here evaluated based on the cloud oriented feature. So it is not about on-premise or completely open source or other category. It is purely based on cloud oriented feature. And if you just scroll down, you can also read how you can read this report. So basically there are three reports. One is the key criteria, where it talks about the key features and the criteria, for example, scalability, and GigaOm Radar report. So this is the forward looking analysis. And third one is the solution profile, which is the combination of key criteria report and GigaOm Radar report. And they have created some kind of analysis framework based on the two combination. And before we dive into the report, make sure I would like to inform you that there is no Gatling or artillery tools got evaluated, even though they have the cloud feature with them. So now let us dive into the categories. So these are the market categories and deployment types considered. And after each analysis, there is a table view so that we can also see the score. So in the categories, we have SMB, small medium businesses. So whichever the tools made an impact to the small medium business, and also the large enterprise. So here, as you see, there is a deployment types and market category dedicated for enterprise deployment and service. And also there is a third category called managed and cloud service provider. Basically, they deliver services such as network, application, infrastructure, etc. And they take care of all the administration work. So this category is called managed and cloud service provider. And within the CSP, again, there is some offering, cloud offering of MSPs and the network service providers. So there are so many acronyms. So you have to just take care when reading this section. And apart from these three categories, there are SaaS only solution. For example, if you want to make use of the vendor's infrastructure, one example is Office 365. And there is another one called customer manager solution. So where you take the product and then you will deploy it yourself on your infrastructure. For example, you can take any open source project and then you can deploy it in your own infrastructure. So think of it like that category, which is customer based solutions. Okay, now let us read the table 1, which is vendor positioning. And here, as you see, 3+ means exceptional, and 2+ means capable, and 1+ is limited, and minus means not applicable. And in this table, except JMeter and Apica, all other vendors are in a comfortable position. As you see, there are a lot of 3+ and 2+ and 1+. But if you take JMeter, they are it is good in SMB, but not so good in SaaS because it's open source project, and also MSP and CSP also no presence. Similarly, on the other hand, Apica, small medium business, no presence, and MSP or CSP also no presence. So this vendor positioning will give you some idea who is playing a role in the industry. So this will give you some high level idea about the each vendor. Now let us see the key criteria comparison. So here the report considering the core features and capabilities, and the evaluation metrics provides the insight to the impact of each product's feature, and also the emerging technologies and trends, for example, AI or ML. So table 2 defines the key criteria. So here we have automated test definitions, load types, testing as code, RCA, performance insights, collaboration features and deployment and environment support. And if you just observe this table, Microfocus and Nastal are closely competing with each other. As you see, there are a lot of 3 pluses for Microfocus and a lot of 3 pluses for Nastal. But for the other vendors, it is a kind of lot of 2 pluses rather than 3 pluses. But if you just scroll down and if you just observe the table 3, which is evaluation metrics, so again, Loadster is closely competing with Microfocus in terms of metrics such as scalability, breadth of coverage, usability, licensing terms, and return on investment. And I'm not sure why K6 awarded 2 pluses here for the usability, because K6 dashboard is kind of one of the best UI, I would say. And I'm not sure really why 2 pluses here. Otherwise, K6 also it's closely competes with the other major vendors. Okay, now let us talk about the emerging technologies. So emerging technologies, as you know, AI integration and automated test creation, Kubernetes, the cloud things, service mesh, microservices, and support for cloud-based as a service. And here, as you see, the K6 competes in all the criterias, and Nastal, Radview, SmartBear, Neotis also, they have the AI capability embedded, but Microfocus, Loadster, and JMeter, they don't have any presence for the AI or ML yet. So here, the emerging technologies, K6 outperforms all the vendors in terms of all the scores. So if you see AI ML, automated test creation, support for Kubernetes by native, since it's based on Go, it comes with by nature, and it has supports for service mesh, microservices, and support also excellent support. So now if you combine table 2, 3, and 4, and you will get the key radar basically. That is what we are going to see. If you just scroll down, as you see, this is the framework. So here there are 4 quadrants. As you see, the maturity and platform is one quadrant, maturity and feature play is another quadrant, feature play and innovation in another quadrant, and innovation and platform play is another quadrant. And it is made up of 4 concentric circles. As you see, this is one bullseye, and the second, third, and fourth, and dark gray is the leader, which is this circle, and the challenger is the outer circle, the second circle, and the new entrant is this circle. And there are 2 axes, as you know, platform and feature play is one axis, x-axis, and maturity and innovation is the y-axis. And the blue one, it's a forward mover. As you see, Apache and SmartBear is a forward mover, and a dark blue is a fast mover, Apica Labs, Grafana Labs, Radview, Neotis, Nastal, and outperformer is Loadster and Microfocus. So the closer the arrow is, the better. So here, as you see, Microfocus is closest to the bullseye, and the second after Microfocus, the second one is, I would say, Nastal, because if you just circle it says Nastal. So Nastal and Microfocus, it's on 2 ends of the spectrum. So in one spectrum you have Microfocus, and another spectrum you have Nastal, and all other vendors are in the middle. So that's what you will see in the report if you just scroll down. And also it is important to note down, there is no best radar quadrant. So that is what the analysis says, and there is no bad products in the list of vendors evaluated report. And sometimes a provider position further away from the radar may be the best choice for your enterprise. So again, this is not evaluation, this is not the comparison between multiple tools. So just to give some idea, a high level idea about the current technologies and trends. And if you scroll down, as you see, you will get some information. And here I have some couple of points. For example, under vendor insights for the JMeter, again, there's one point called an area for improvement is JMeter's missing DSL. So this is incorrect. Basically, we have JMeter DSL is being developed by Abstracta. So that is missing here. So considering the JMeter DSL part, you may get some additional pluses in the report. And if you just scroll down, I have another couple of points to emphasize here. So under the Grafana Labs, So the analysis says that the platform uses K6 machine learning to detect the performance degradation during testing, and very soon it will also leverage the Grafana Labs ML. Grafana has their own ML algorithms and observability solutions, which will be integrated along with K6 Cloud, so that you can detect the performance and degradation pretty quickly. So this is one point you have to note it down if you are considering the K6. And if you just keep scroll down, one of the important point is for the micro focus. So the analysis says that load runner SaaS needs to improve in two key areas. One is the perceived value in pricing and use of AI. Considering micro focus in business from many years, they have to start. They would have started already for the AI or ML into the load runner product, but it needs to be in the market as soon as possible. And when it comes to Nastel, I'm not sure why they included Nastel here, because it's not really a load testing tool for the complex workflows like JMeter or LoadRunner or NeoLoad. So the Nastel solution basically it generates the performance tests from your unit tests automatically, which will save a lot of time, so that as a tester we don't need to spend time on creating those tests. But Nastel plays a critical role in shift left, considering the nature of generating tests from the unit tests. So I really don't understand why Nastel plays a critical role considering the cloud performance testing tools. We need more insights on that. But the strength of Nastel is basically it can benchmark your application, and it uses the ML and NLP to run tests and interpret results. So this is one of the key point you have to note it down. And again, as I mentioned, Sybench is a shift left tool. So Nastel's one of these product is Sybench, and again, it is not intended as a complex end user load testing tool, but it's excellent CI/CD and it is excellent for shift left performance testing. Now let us see the last section of this report, which is analyst's take. And as highlighted here, the cloud vendors evaluated based on the greenfield opportunity. So there's one point you have to note it down. And considering the shift left approach, Nastel Sybench is the best tool because it's flying colors and it also in the same quadrant as Micro Focus. So if you want to give a shift left approach a boost, you can consider the Nastel's Sybench. Again, it is not for complex load testing workflows. It is for the shift left approach, so that you can save time without spending much on your test generation. And on the other hand, we have LoadRunner by Micro Focus. So this statement might be biased because since I got the report from Micro Focus marketing team, so might be biased. So I'm leaving it to you. You decide whether it is biased or not after going through this report. And other vendors, as highlighted here, just middle in the line. And really, there is no best quadrant. And this report is not about comparison of various tools. So really it depends on what you need and what is the capability of your team. Because switching from one tool to another tool is a lot of money, a lot of effort, and which you don't want. So you have to pick a vendor and analyze the core features, upcoming features, and what is the current trend, what will be future trend, everything you need to consider, and your organization goals, strategy for next 10 years or 5 years. Because if you want to switch in the middle to some tool, it is very expensive. So with this, I'm concluding my analysis. So please let me know your comments in this video. And thank you for watching. Have a good day.
If you like my dad's videos, please subscribe to QA Insights channel.